I am Florence Naugrette. I am a professor in Sorbonne University in Paris. I teach French literature. It is the fact that he speaks of everything that still interests us today. The topics he talks about, as far as, for example, political issues are concerned, such as death penalties, such as peace all over the world, such as education of women, education of children, those topics still have a very have an importance today and are not solved all over the world. There are places like in France or in Britain where women are educated, where children are educated, where we live at peace for the moment. But there are many regions of the world where it's not the case, and so Victor Hugo has a great importance for that. And also, he's such a big-hearted man. You know, when you read his novels, for example, there is suspense, there is a lot of emotion, and an emotion that can be shared by people talking about his books. I'm very much concerned about sharing literature. You know, literature is something you practice alone, but also that you practice with other people when you tell them about what you have read, when you tell them you should read this book, you know, and it works a lot with Victor Hugo. Oftentimes you read Victor Hugo because someone told you you should read this book. To start maybe with Les Miserables, Les Mis. It's a huge book, 1,700 pages, but there are abridged versions which allow to know the book only with the plot, you know. In your question, you ask about mixing literature and political issues, I would say, political issues on a broad meaning. And I think it's very important not to separate the literature and the politics. They all go together. And I think that the hub will allow people from all over the world to concentrate on this particular place in Hugo's life where he lived during his exile, and to think about what it is to continue talking even when you were supposed not to. That's what happened with Victor Hugo. When he was exiled, he was supposed not to have any influence in France anymore. And that's because he was exiled that he wrote his masterpieces. Well, I think that if it be possible, it could be possible by welcoming people in Guernsey, and also by tuning some contents all over the world. It's very easy now, and being a center. I mean, center both means a place and also the center the center of Hugo's work and the center of the world. Actually, Guernsey could become the center of the world in a way through Victor Hugo. It's true that Guernsey has links with other authors like Chateaubriand, for example, Jersey and Guernsey, and I think that reminding of history is very important nowadays, because sometimes nowadays we forget history. We think that we can get rid of history, do without history, but history tells us about how war happens. For example, how intolerance develops. That's what history tells us. And if we forget history, we forget how these diseases of society happen again. If students come in the center, in the Victor Hugo Center, it would be, and I think that they could write themselves about his topics, become inspired themselves. I mean, not only learn, but also create. I think it would be a good thing.